Welcome to the Gallery at 57's Art Talk. Today's episode is sponsored by J. Malden Center is Malden's newest luxury apartment community, located right across from the Malden MBTA Orange Line station. We love Malden and the arts, and we're proud to be part of this diverse and vibrant community. Hi, my name is Grace, and welcome to the Gallery at 57's first Art Talk. Today we'll be talking to artist Beth Kopp.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you for having me on Art Talk.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a little bit about how you got started in arts. Maybe you can tell us a little about your journey into art and how you came into art.
Yeah, I mean, art has always been something that I've had a great interest in. I was interested in it I started in high school with a lot of art classes, was really lucky to have some great teachers. And then when I went away to college, I was at Tufts University, and they had a fabulous program where they had art teachers from the museum school in Boston come and teach classes. So I basically loaded up and took a lot of classes and developed my skills through life drawing and oil painting classes, design classes. I had a very good exposure to a lot of different things. And then I developed my own skills and gradually started to develop my own style as time went on. And I've been doing art many, many years. And it's been in the last, I think, 5 years that I joined a group where we start putting on shows. So I have been getting my art out there and doing some shows and selling my pieces. And I joined the gallery at 57 to further my art, get my art out there to more people, and also help work with and support a group of artists that I really enjoy being with.
First one I wanted to talk to you about was your piece entitled Turtle.
Yes.
So what kind of medium do you use, and how did you decide on the turtle?
The turtle was a unique project. It's actually 4 foot by 6 foot, so it's a very large piece. My husband had asked me to do an impact piece for our home. He wanted a painting instead of me painting for other people and all this. So he bought me this huge canvas, and we had a long discussion about what we were going to do, and nothing felt right, everything I'd done before. But my sister and her husband had bought an Aboriginal dot paint that I got to visit and see a lot. Really affected me. So I decided to do a dot painting based on what the Aboriginals do. And I regretted it a little bit later after 6 months of sitting there, because it's a very large canvas. I used oils on that. Typically when the Aboriginals do it, they use a type of acrylic, I believe. It took a while to figure out what was a good applicator. It ended up being a Q-tip of all things, which I find highly amusing, because I went through, I think, 1,000 of those. We estimated, I think there's over 10,000 dots on the canvas. But yeah, so it took a long time, but it's our favorite piece. It's fabulous. I love it. It's really a great piece. It was a lot of fun, and we even made a little cooperative, because in Aboriginal, a lot of people will work on a piece. So I had everybody do some dots. So it's really a community family piece.
And how about taking flight?
Taking flight. So I had done the larger dot, and I took a break and did some other different styles of art. And then I went back, because I really did enjoy the way the dot paintings come out, the movement that they give. It reminds me of some pointillism that I did when I did some earlier works, but just on a bigger scale. So I wanted to try the same technique with the acrylics, and taking flight was sort of, I'd had someone in the family, my mother-in-law had passed away, and the hawk was sort of something that was symbolic of her to us as a family. And the Aboriginal art, again, uses a lot of symbols and a lot of things. So I felt that that was an appropriate sort of honoring her by using that image in that painting.
What about the 16 strings?
16 strings. So in one of the groups that I'm in, we put on several art shows a year, and I had my son, who is a musician, and he had a small group, a quartet, that would perform at different functions that we had. And several of our functions have been at the BB Estate, which is actually really close to where I am in Melrose. And they would perform there. And when they were all graduating from high school and moving on to their different things, I wanted to kind of give them something and honor them and thank them for all the time that they put in, because they did so many, and it was all volunteer. the kids were great. So I started that painting with all the kids in it and worked on it and worked on it. Hadn't done real figured painting in a long time. So again, something I took it as a challenge to push myself and create it. And stylized the background a little bit because I wanted the kids to be and the instruments to be the focus and the main point. So the background is slightly stylized. It's not perfect to what was there. But then after I finished the painting, and that is an acrylic on canvas board, when I finished the painting, I had a print made for each of the kids and gave that to them when they graduated. So that was something they were excited, and it really was a very personal thing for me.
The other piece that you did, the standing tall.
Standing tall, yes. That piece is actually this piece right behind me. So I was inspired by several visits out to the redwood forest in California, which when you go out there, I mean, we have beautiful, majestic trees, gorgeous landscapes here, but when you go out there, it's just so amazing. California is on steroids in my opinion. So I went and had an experience where in the redwood forest, we actually laid down on the decks they have and looked straight up and loved the view. It's just a different view, a different perspective than you normally have when you're walking around. So I've done a series of paintings, and this is one of them, where you feel like you're in the middle of this and you're just looking straight up and trying to take your focus off this, looking at ourselves and sort of just looking straight ahead at what we're doing, but look up and around and see everything that's around us. And that's the inspiration for the series that I did that this is one of.
Yeah, I love that atmospheric kind of quality you have to it, combined like with the perspective. It's really an interesting piece. And so for that one, did you also use oil, or is it acrylic as well? Or
this one is acrylic. This one is acrylic on canvas. It's funny because I was trained in oils, and I was a bit of a snob for several years about acrylics. I'm not using it. I'm not using it. And then I decided that I wanted to challenge myself and see why was I fighting acrylics, so to speak. And now I've embraced them. And I love oils still. They are my true love, I think. But I really enjoyed the journey that I've taken from struggling to try this new medium into something that now I really enjoy. Some of the different things you can do with acrylics than you can do. And I really also enjoy in my life right now the speed that I can do an acrylic paint. In other words, if I did an oil, I'd have to step away for a long time if I wanted to do another layer or do anything different to it or modify something. But with the acrylics, you can go right back in and rework an area and change something, or glaze over it very quickly. So you have different skills that you use when you do acrylic painting than oil. I mean, I enjoy the oil and the mixing and the richness of it, but I've found I've developed a great love for acrylics, despite the fact that I was resistant in the beginning. So,
Beth, who do you think inspires you the most in your paintings? Like, what artists do you see as an inspiration, or how do they impact your work?
I have a lot of artists. I mean, I was lucky enough to get a lot of training and have some of the best museums in the world, in my opinion, close to us. So I guess I would have to say I've been inspired the most by the Impressionists. And I would say Renoir has been a favorite. And I'd have to say I've also been doing a little bit more with my style and admiring the coloring in Van Gogh and some of his stylizations. I'd also add in Georgia O'Keeffe. I think I'm starting to notice and appreciate there's a loneliness to some of her paintings and the emptiness sort of. And I actually had a couple people comment lately on a couple of mine on how there was that same quality of emptiness.
Yeah, I can definitely see there's like a quietness to some of the pieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I've started to appreciate that a little bit and noticing that. And she was very nature oriented, and I am also very nature oriented. So I think that's been something that I'm noticing a little bit. And I had always admired her when I was young, and I hadn't really thought about it too much. But so I think I draw from all those different places.
Thank you for watching Art Talk. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Our handle is the Gallery AT57. And if you'd like any more information about the gallery at 57, please check the link in our description box.